Hello and welcome into the Founders Club. I am your club president, Jeff Jarrett. This is the place where we get together once a week, every Tuesday at noon, and we go live. We bring to you a new founder, not new to founding, just new to you, a new to you founder of someone who has built a brand and is having success with that. And we just want to download some knowledge from them. We want to learn from them. We want to get inside their mind, see what makes them tick. And this is the place to do that. So come on in, be at home in the Founders Club. This is a live show, so feel free to participate in the chat and all of those fun, good things. Again, I am your host, Jeff Jarrett. And if you're new with us, you can subscribe on the Spotifys, on the Apples to get all, wherever you download podcasts. We are there with video podcast. But like I say, if you want to be in the live show for the real deal front row experience, we are live on YouTube and on Facebook every Tuesday at noon. So grab your lunch, settle in, and let's do the Founders Club. So today, we try to bring you something, someone new and exciting that has put in the hustle and is, again, having some success. So if you're out there and you're thinking, it's a new year, I'm excited about 2024, and I'm thinking about starting this side hustle, but I don't know what I don't know. Or, there's, or maybe you have a side hustle, you want to take it to the next level, or maybe you just run a business. You run a small business or any kind of business, and you just want to be around people that are in the same boat. This is your place. The Founders Club is the club for you to come be with your people, be part of this community, and let's have a good time learning from each other, inspiring each other, and we're just going to goof off and have a good time as well in the Founders Club. That's kind of our club statement mission, if you will. So today is no exception. We have an awesome guest with us. Someone that I know really cares a lot about giving back to the community. That's how we met, through a nonprofit called the Blue Family Fund. If you were with us on episode 3, I believe, you met Stacy McGovern, who runs the Blue Family Fund. And so that's how I know today's guest, Angela Lamb, who's been running an agency for a lot of years. I messed it up yesterday, so I'll let her fill us in on exactly the exact number of how long she's been running her agency. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into the show today. Let's go. You don't change at all. Cry out now. Have you given up? I will never stop, yeah. All right, if you are just joining us, we are live and welcome into the Founders Club. I am your club president, Jeff Jarrett, and today's guest is Angela Lamb. Let's get Angela Lamb on the line right now. Hey, there she is. There she is, Angela Lamb. Welcome. The crowd is going crazy. They love the Angela Lamb. You're at Lamb headquarters there?
I am. Yep.
All right, very
Being
cool.
lady
Okay.
boss.
Say again?
Being the lady boss.
Lady boss, yes. You look good. You look great. Look good on camera. Okay, we're all fancy. You got good lighting. We can see you. That's nice. All right. Okay, we got to go straight to the important things. Is this the year that Dallas Cowboys win their 6th Super Bowl?
I would hope so. I'm cheering for them. I'm a huge Mavs fan, though. So, I love my Dallas.
Oh, you're the Mavs. Okay. So
I'm a Mavs fan. So I do love you can't see it right there, but I've got a wall of Mavs here.
Oh, okay. So Luka, Kyrie, are they coming together? They scored 35, 36 the other day.
I'm going to watch them tonight to play. So, yep.
I'm on YouTube TV. Why they can't figure that out, I don't know. I get a game every once in a while when they're on TNT or something. So it's kind of bugging me. Before Luka, I would catch games here and there, but now I kind of want to see more of the games because that guy is so ridiculous. Well, I saw the other day you had posted the shirts where all of your family was wearing the CD Lamb jerseys, I guess, because of the Lamb thing.
Yes,
so,
and we do enjoy the Cowboys as well. So that is what. But I'm a Mavs diehard fan.
You're a Mavs guy. Okay, no, full respect. Yeah. You're a MFFL.
I very much so.
If you're not from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, that's Mavs fan for life. Okay, not maybe something else that I don't know. It maybe sounds like it's something else.
It could be something else.
It could be. Mark Cuban's a madman. He's got marketing. But we are about to talk about some marketing stuff. Okay, we're about to get into it. So let me pull up. Let me see here. I got some questions for you here. So, so tell us. We're gonna ask Angela Lamb a few things. Tell us in the Angela Lamb history, what's the most fun job you've had? Oh, and I got you on. Oh, and I got you on mute for some reason. Okay, try again. Tell us again.
I just laughed at the most fun. I don't know that I've ever had a
Yeah,
fun
fun.
job.
Fun is in quotes. Yes, absolutely. Wink,
My
wink.
very first job was detasseling corn. So I grew up in Nebraska.
I'm sorry. Wait, what now?
Yeah. So I grew up in Nebraska, and in Nebraska is obviously nothing but cornfields, or a lot
Are
of
you guys?
cornfields.
Hey, are you guys gonna ever win another football game?
Hey, that's the other half of my wall. So the first half is Dallas Mavs,
Oh my
and then
goodness.
the other half is the Nebraska
How are
Cornhuskers.
the Cornhuskers so
No
bad for so
way.
long? It's really gone on too long.
We got
What's
one of
going
the
on?
best quarterback recruits this year, so I'm
Okay,
hoping a girl will pull it out this year.
I
I'm
oh,
hoping.
I'm
I'm hoping.
college football needs Nebraska to be better.
I
Honestly,
know. We
it's
need to
like when
kick Alabama.
Texas is no good. Like, let's go, guys. What are we doing here? I'm a Sooner fan. I'm from
We need
Oklahoma, so I hate
dynasty
Texas and
back.
Nebraska. But really, you don't want your rivals to be down for that long. Come on,
We need our dynasty back. We
we
definitely
need
need those
something. We
calls.
need some signs
Yeah,
of life at least. Okay,
I agree.
sorry, I sidetracked. You're doing something with corn. What now?
It's called detasseling corn, and so basically you walk a corn row and you pull off the top, the seedy part of it, and it's during the middle of summer, so it's hotter than Hades, and you get cut up by all the leaves, and then 9 times out of 10, the farmer that owns the crops turns on the irrigation system while you're doing this, and it's just a
Oh,
horrible job, but you got paid a lot. As a teenage kid, they put you on an old school bus. You get bussed out to some farmer's
yes.
field and walk the crops all day
You
long.
get dozens of dollars.
Dozens, dozens.
Oh, okay. Do you know what shucking corn is? I don't know what this means. This was a dinner time discussion at our house the other day.
How do you know what that means?
I don't know what it means. I don't know what shucking. I don't know what shucking is. It's just like when you peel the
Shuck
stringy
the corn.
stuff. Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, I
That's
guess
it.
that might be what it is. But yeah,
That's
okay.
hilarious. You city boy.
I know. Well, Jimmy did it, and I didn't care. Okay, I didn't. I very indifferent to the shucking of the corn. All right. Okay.
That's
Okay. So if the Lamb house catches on fire and all the people are safe, what are you saving possessions wise?
oh, probably my little safe deposit box because I've got Les got me my husband got me a few years ago a little picture saver thing so you can
Yeah.
download all your pictures to it. And so that's in there. And I try to keep pictures in there as much as I put, the important ones. So, oh, and then probably my animals and my kid. I would assume those are in there too.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
would
Animals, okay. Yeah, human. Yeah, all the life forms are good, human and
Les is all
otherwise. Yeah,
about.
we were broken into like a few years ago. Someone broke in our house during the day, just like right front door during the day, kicked in the door, and that's the only thing they stole. They were going to steal some other stuff. I think they got spooked by something, but they stole our safety deposit, our little file safe
Or
thing. It was just
it's nothing that they want. I mean, but
passports. I know
yeah,
birth certificates. My wedding ring was in there, so that was kind of a bummer. I didn't wear my actual ring. I would always wore like a rubber ring, but the actual one
yeah.
from the wedding day that was in there. So that was kind of a bummer. I don't have that anymore. But yes, good on them. I'm sure they had a fun time with that. Okay, so speaking of wild things that happened. Well, I will tell you this. This was kind of fun. When that break-in happened, my kids came home and they had tried to take the TV, and the TV had. I guess that's when they got spooked because the TV was like laying down, like on the. It was
Yeah,
ripped off the wall, but then it was like laying on the little hutch that's right underneath it,
yeah,
and the wall was all tore up, like where the cable was in the wall, so it like ripped, and so my son came home from school, and this is when I worked at my old studio. So I work from home now, but I worked at my old studio. And my son said, "Hey," he calls me. He goes, "Hey, Dad, the TV like fell off the wall." And I'm like, "What?" I remember putting that thing up, and it's like in two studs. I could do pull-ups off
oh
that mount. There was no way this thing was coming down. I said, "Well, let me go to FaceTime and show me what's going on." He showed me. I'm like, "What in the world happened here?" And then he looks up. He goes, "Oh, wait, something's wrong with the door too." So he pans over to the door, and the door was kicked in. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, okay, go next door to our neighbor's house."
yeah.
I said, "Go to his name's Carl." I said, "Go to Carl's house and just hang out over there." And so I was like trying to figure this out. I'm trying to get out the door to go home and figure out what's going on. And then my son's phone rings, and it's my son calling me back, like just like 2 minutes later. And I said, "Hey, bud, what's going on?" And it wasn't him. It was my neighbor's mom, right? And she just happened to be in town at the time. She's like, okay, the kids are here, they're safe, but just are you home right now? And I was like, no, but I'm heading that way. My wife's going to be there before me. She worked closer, and I said, yeah, my wife will actually be there in like 5 minutes. And she goes, okay, well, call her real quick and let her know to be careful when she goes in, because Carl, my next door neighbor, she goes, Carl just left to go over there, and I heard him load one in the chamber. And so I don't want her to surprise him, walking in, and then, it's a, surprise situation. So I had to call and say, okay, Carl's over there and he's armed. So, I got good neighbors. We are in Texas. So if you break into someone's house, your neighbor may go, clear the premises, but, yeah, it's, so anyways, we lost a couple of things that day, but, it wasn't too bad. Okay, so speaking of wild stories, tell us. Okay, so if you don't know this, Angela is in the insurance game. So give us some wild insurance stories, because I know you know a thing or two, you've seen a thing or two, as the commercial says.
Yeah, after 20 years,
give us a good one.
As after 20 years of insurance, I've had quite a few of them, but it's hard to sometimes bring up one of mine. But
narrow it down to the.
I get an email normally that tells me, hey, somebody's filed a claim. And so I got the email and I'm reading the description. I'm like, well, that's a first. Somebody, I don't know if they left their car door open or what they did, but they came back to their car and it was full of 3 goats, like billy goats.
Okay.
And the goats were eating their car. So they literally they totaled the vehicle. I mean, they just destroyed it. So I'm not quite sure I can't remember all the particulars of whether or not they left a door open or how those goats got in the car. But that's one of the ones. But,
so
yeah.
they totaled the car from goats.
Yeah, because they tore out basically all the electrical systems.
Okay. So the goats did goat things inside the car.
They did what they do. So they gnawed on everything they could get their teeth on.
So okay. So tell me your thoughts on this one. So we had this one the other day. This was a little while back, but we're leaving at a Kroger, or we're leaving out of the grocery store. We turn left onto the street. This was at night. As my wife was driving, it's just me and her in the car. I'm in the passenger seat. She always insists on driving because she doesn't like the way I drive, and then 2, she says she's car sick. I don't know. I think that's just an excuse, but calling her out here. I'm calling her out here on the Founders Club. Yeah, I drive like a fast car, and it's a lot, but she doesn't appreciate that. But anyways, listen, that's not the point. The point is, she's driving the car and she's going, and as soon as she turns out onto the road, this car runs a stop sign and smashes into the back of her, like going a lot faster than we were going. So it's like, so his car's all jacked up. It was a young man. And so we pull over, and his car, he tries to just hit and run, but his car's all jacked up. But he runs up on the median of the grass, and like his car just won't even operate. So he gets out, and he comes up to us, and he's like, well, first of all, okay, this is the important part of the story, because he runs across the street over to like these bushes over there, and then he runs back. We didn't know this at the time, what he was doing over there. I'll come back to that. So he goes up to us and goes, hey, he comes up to me because I'm expecting his car. I'm taking pictures, of course, with your phone. I'm taking pictures of his car. My wife had pulled up a little bit. And he goes, hey, I need to get out of here. I'll give you $100 cash to drive me out of here right now. And I'm like, what? That's the first thing he says to me. And I'm like, no, let's figure this out real quick. So as I'm taking pictures hold 1 second. As I'm taking pictures of his car, then I look up. And my wife had pulled up just a few feet up here this way. He's getting into the back of her car as she's on the phone with the police, and he's making her the same offer. Hey, ma'am, I got $100 cash. If you drive me out of here right now, I'll give you this money. And I come up and I'm like, hey, bud, are you okay? He's like, oh, I got to get out of here. And so another passerby had stopped and was asking if everyone was okay. And then he offered the same thing. He came up to us talking and made the same offer. $100, get me out of here. And the guy was like, this is a bodybuilder guy, this huge guy. And he was like, actually, you don't want to be fleeing the scene of the crime. I'm actually a former police officer. You need to just hang out and figure this thing out. And as soon as he said, I'm a former police officer, the kid's eyes got real wide, and he took off into the neighborhood, just took off running, and was just gone. And apparently, so then we learned later that he was fleeing another police chase. The police were chasing him. That's why he ran into us. So he got away from the original police chase and then hit us, and then was like on the run. And what he had actually run over to those bushes was to throw 2 guns in the
I was
bushes,
gonna
like
say
just to
he's
get
throwing something over there.
yeah, just to get rid of them. And so they found like two guns and some magazines and some ammunition and stuff. And then he just came over and he seemed so he actually seemed like a really nice kid. Like he seemed like really afraid and nice, but he was mixed up into something. And yeah, so that's my most wild insurance
It might
claim.
be on a Dateline episode at some point in time.
Yes, actually, they brought charges. We were working with the DA, and then they ended up, I don't know, they settled on
Who
something.
knows what those guns are connected to? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
You
was
might
going to have to go to court. He said, if we need you to testify what happened, would you come to court and talk about it? I'm like, sure, I guess. And then he called me back a few months later. And was like, okay, no need to schedule any time for that. We worked out something, and he's going to be,
that,
something. They
that's kind
worked
of
out something.
scary though.
It
That's
kind
very
of
scary.
it sounds more scary than it actually was, just because if you saw the kid, he was like, I think he was just altered, and so he seemed really like a nice kid, but
Yeah.
he was mixed up in something. But anyways, that's my wild insurance. So it's no goats, but
That's
goats and
insane.
guns are the
Goats and
insurance
guns, baby.
stories of the day. All right, speaking of stories of the day, give us the Angela Lamb recommendation. It could be a podcast, it could be a book, it could be a TV show. What should the people be checking out, according to
Well,
Angela?
I like anything murder mystery, so that's I just love true crime, all that stuff. So I'm a
Okay,
huge Dateline
That's-
fanatic, so I listen to all the Datelines.
okay, that's some white girl stuff right there.
Well, I've got a small crush on Keith Morrison, which
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I get that he's 90 years old. I don't care.
Are you
I,
familiar? Are you familiar with the what's his name from? He's from Oklahoma. The comedian. He does a Keith Morrison impersonation. He was on SNL. What's his name?
it
Oh my
was
gosh.
hilarious. Bill
He's
Hader.
so good. Bill Hader, thank you so much. Yes, he was just nominated for Barry last night.
Isn't that hilarious?
Oh, he's so good at it. Yes. And they actually met in real life
Yeah.
recently, and I saw that video, and it was so funny. But yes, yes.
Well, I do,
Anyways,
and so most books I read are mostly either crime books or I like historical nonfiction, historical fiction of like World War II kind of stuff. But one that caught me off guard that I literally thought I was going to hate. I was going to absolutely hate it. It was called Remarkably Bright Creatures.
okay.
And so, first book, I normally don't listen to books on Audible, but it was something I was in a book club and I had to listen to it to get through it fast so I could go to the book club on it. And it was one of the most interesting listening an Audible book because it's the story of a octopus and a janitor in an aquarium. And so she's got this drama. Her kid disappeared and died and all that stuff. That's the one right there.
This one,
And
okay.
but the story is being told from her point of view and the octopus. And so the octopus is he's British or something like. He's like so when it gets to him, he's like it's day 102,000 of my captivity, and he's just always like humdrum, and he's always getting out of his tank and eating the other fish. And it's just one of those books that I was so shocked when I heard it that I was like, I am shocked. I like that book. It was so good. It was so good.
It was good. Okay, did it have a crime element, or that's
Yeah,
not?
yeah, because basically the octopus had been hiding things in his aquarium and solved a case of what happened to her son because she thought he committed suicide all these years ago and he didn't commit
Oh,
suicide.
okay, okay. So he's the detective, not the criminal.
Exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
I kind of wanted an octopus criminal, but I'll
But it's
just
one of
take.
those books like you read it. I mean, if you read it, it's going to be great. But to listen to it is because you get to hear.
Snapped is on Oxygen True Crime.
Oh yeah,
So once I see Oxygen, I know I'm in trouble.
and that's one of those ones. There's so many episodes you could watch it for weeks upon weeks upon
Oh,
weeks.
you can binge. You can go hard on the binge.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay. So
Good
all right.
brain.
So
Rage
the,
hate.
all right, so the Angela Lamb wreck. Okay. So you are in the insurance biz, and I always want to ask people, I always find it interesting, little things that we didn't know about X. So in your world, what would the viewers here, what would we be surprised to know about? Now this says animal care business. I didn't update my slide. Sorry here. What would we be surprised to know about the insurance biz?
Oh goodness, that 2024 is going to be the craziest year for insurance. Period. So buckle up and strap yourselves in for a rough ride because I mean
Why?
oh it's insane. So basically, the insurance world is imploding on itself in the last between 2023 and 2024.
Oh, good
And it's
times.
just this huge ship that's trying to be corrected, and it's just going to be a process. And unfortunately, DFW area is going to take a big hit on it. So
Well,
breathe
you
in,
would
breathe out.
you would never know by the number of commercials that they run. You would think
Well,
everything's super
but
duper.
really pay attention now. So a lot of them are not running commercials anymore. So like Farmers isn't running as many commercials. They're not as many as they used to be. Because they're still doing their
Oh,
sponsorship ads, like with like the football teams and whatnot, and the sporting events, but not as much as they used to,
so they're
especially here in the Texas market. So
really
it's insane.
okay.
It really is. But
Well,
I think it will get better. It's a matter of this perfect storm coming together and then finding our way out of it. So
okay, so it's like a little phase, hopefully.
it is a phase.
Hopefully,
So
okay.
hopefully only 1 year, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, that is surprising to know. Now, by the way, back to crime drama, the comment section.
Hmm.
Kristen has weighed in, and she said that she's got to learn what people are around, might be up to. So she's doing it from research purposes. Okay, she's coming to her
Exactly.
own defense here. She
It, it-
says it's
we need
educational.
to know. We need to know.
It's educational. All right, very good. Okay, well. Hold on. Somehow we got muted. Oh my goodness! Thank you for the chat for letting us know we got muted. Okay,
Uh-oh.
are you were 20? So we were just talking about Angela's 20 years in insurance. Have you feel like has it flown by? Has it creeped by? Is it a mix?
It's a mix.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I think like especially with new agents coming on, I tell them like what happened when because I was only 26, 27 years old when I started. So I didn't know what I didn't know. So I just did what I was told to do and went out there and
You're only
hustled. And
you're only 32 now. So how's that possible? The math isn't working out.
those years are not adding up. For some reason, it does.
I'm not so good with the math. I told you I'm from
Yeah.
Oklahoma, so
You're not mathing well. You're
I'm
not
not.
mathing well.
No, not.
No.
I went to.
Um, so anyway, so I mean, I think back to that time. I'm like, good Lord, it just seems like eons ago. But then again, I'm like, I still have some pretty good scars from that. So
Mm,
yeah. So it's been an interesting ride for sure. Interesting.
I bet, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably talked to a lot of people that are in different levels of excitement about something that had happened to them recently. And I'm saying that in
Yes.
a nice way.
Oh yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. So you were talking about potentially seeing less advertising from our insurance people. So, but okay. So we're gonna play a little game here. Okay, and this is where the
Okay.
chat can help us out. So we're gonna play a little Founders Club top 10. Here we go. And we are on a green screen. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Flip you
Insurance
around here.
mascot.
This is the top 10 insurance. Yeah. Okay. So I think this is like it's kind of like the holy or the unholy trinity of it's beer, right? It's trucks,
Yep.
cars or whatever, and insurance. Like when I'm watching
Yep.
football, these are the things that I get commercials for the most. You're saying that that's going to change a little bit, but for right now, people
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Okay, what they just know insurance, right? There's lots of insurance companies. They're all advertising heavily. And so, as an insurance person, okay, and then this is a business podcast here, so I'm gonna get my little cheat sheet here, my little scorecard, so I know what the right answers are. I stored it
Okay.
right here somewhere. Here we go. Boom. Okay, I got my scorecard open here, so I now know what the answers are. Okay. So, all right, Angela, give us your guesses for top 10 insurance mascots from ads. Who's
Mascot.
on the list? Well, I'm calling them mascots. That's probably not even the right word. It's like ad campaigns,
I'd
different.
say Jake from State Farm is a big one, so I'm not sure
Jake.
where he would fall in there.
Okay,
Yep.
Jake from State Farm is number 2. Jake from State Farm.
Okay.
Yes. And he's kind of a Johnny come lately compared to some of these.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would assume the gecko somewhere in the 1 to 3
Number
spot.
1, Geico Gecko. He's the guy.
Mhm. Let's see next. The emu from Liberty Mutual. I would say
Oh,
maybe 4 or 5.
barely making the list at number 10. Yeah.
Okay,
Emu.
sharp.
Yep, that's right.
The
Chat
general.
can let us know. Chat can let us know if they know some more. The General is coming in at number 9. There with Shaq, who I'm just a huge fan. I
Okay.
love Shaq. Anything Shaq, I'm there.
And then,
So
of course, our very own Professor Burke. I mean, he's got to be on there somewhere.
Professor Burke. Now see, okay, now yes,
He's
Professor Burke's
he's the only
all the way
one
up.
with he's
What's
the only
that?
one with like Academy Awards. So I mean, come on.
Yeah, so my son is a big time movie nerd, and okay, I really enjoy this movie too. But it's one of my son's very favorite movies. It's called Whiplash. Have you ever seen this
Oh
movie?
yeah, it's amazing. He got an
He
Academy
is
Award for
he is so good in that. He is
it.
so
Yeah.
fantastic. Yes, for all that. Okay, you want the Jeff Jarrett recommendation, audience, if you're out there watching it, watch the movie Whiplash. It's on one of the services right now, I believe,
Oh
and it's got J.K. Simmons, and he is an absolute fantastic villain. He's like. And it has one of the best endings. I won't spoil anything, but just has a great ending. One of the best endings I've ever seen in any movie. It is a fantastic movie. J.K. Simmons is a great actor, and he also
Yeah.
is the insurance guy. So that's the farmer's guy.
Yeah.
He knows
Mhm.
the thing or two because he's seen the thing or two. That's the guy.
That's our guy.
Yeah, that's your guy.
Mayhem, so
Oh,
he's all state.
hey, I will tell you this. I did not know his name. So
You
you
didn't
knew
know
his.
J.K.
I
Rowling?
see. I don't think they've done a good job with the
Yeah.
name.
See, I just confused it with Harry Potter. I said
What?
J.K. Rowling.
Oh, J.K. Yeah, J.K. something. Just kidding, Simmons.
The other one would be Mayhem from Allstate.
Yes, Allstate Mayhem is in the medal stand on the bronze podium right there. I love him. Now, see, I'm a huge fan. My number 1 favorite TV show of all time is 30 Rock. So I know
Oh
him
yeah,
as Dennis Duffy. That's
yeah,
Liz Lemon's first boyfriend in the series, and he would come
yeah.
back from time to time, and he was an absolute. He was Mayhem in that before he was Mayhem for insurance. But
And
yeah,
I
he
knew
was
him as
great.
a detective from Law and Order SVU. So
Oh, see, I hadn't seen that one, but
yep,
yes,
yep, he's in those series.
I appreciate Mayhem.
Mm-hmm,
The
mm-hmm.
actor, not the state of
Yeah,
being. Yes,
yeah. Let's see, who else? I know I'm missing some.
we got 4 more. When you hear these, do you want help from the chat? Because the chat's got
Yeah,
some.
where's that?
Well, the chat did say Mayhem. Okay, so they got that up there.
Oh,
But
Flo
when
from Progressive. There we go, Flo.
you got it. And Flo
Yeah.
coming on the top 5, completing our top 5. Geico, Jake, Mayhem, and the Professor and Flo. Okay, so you got 3 spots: 6, 7, and 8. 6, 7, and 8. I don't know if the chat's going to help you anymore. They may have given their last good guess. Now, when you see these, you're going to be like, oh, yes, of course. Now, one of these is a little older. One of these doesn't run anymore, but it was a classic from back in the day.
I don't know. I'm
I'll give you
blank now.
I'll give you a hint. It was in the Geico family. One of the first viral.
God, I don't know. I can't remember. I don't
Hint us.
remember the stupid gecko.
Okay, so I'll give you. Okay, I'll give you another layup here. Who's Flo's buddy? Flo's buddy.
She has friends.
She has a buddy.
Oh well, there can't be 2 from the same insurance company.
I don't make up the list. I don't, there was,
What?
I don't, this is
That's
just,
not how this works.
this is, the internet makes these lists. I don't know. This guy was on there. I forgot this guy's name, but he's on there. So,
I can't think of his name either. And then
yeah.
what was the? I can't think of any more. That's all I got.
Oh, by the way, that guy's name is Jamie.
Jamie. There
Jamie.
you go. Jamie.
Yeah. Jamie. Okay. So, someone said Forrest Whitaker. I don't think that's a very serious guess. See, these got folks in the chat. Okay, so we got two more spots. Okay, you ready for it? Okay, do
Ready.
you remember Gilbert Godfrey,
He was on
R.I.P.
that the insurance commercial.
Aflac Duck.
Oh, the Aflac Duck.
He
Yes.
was the voice of the Aflac Duck. Well, he got fired because I think
Oh,
he
he
got
was the voice.
canceled. He was the
Yes.
voice. I mean, he only said one word, but he was
Yeah.
the voice of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Iago. If for the kids that love the Disney, he was
Yes.
Iago from Aladdin, the little
Forgot
bird.
all about Aflac.
And then he was famous for being two birds, and then he was this bird. So
That's
okay,
hilarious.
all right. So you've got one more on the board there. When you see this one, you're going to be like,
Uh,
oh yeah. Are you ready? It's an old one from Geico. It is the caveman.
oh, I
Cave,
forgot all about the cavemen.
yeah, the cave.
Yes.
Yeah, the caveman.
They
So
actually should go back to the cavemen. They were funnier than the gecko.
I like that. Yeah, fun fact here is that the cavemen actually had a TV show. They
I
tried. Well,
remember that.
they tried to make
Yeah.
a caveman TV show. I
Yeah.
believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it went one episode, literally one episode, and they were like, "Oh, this was so awful," they just canceled it immediately.
And I
So
think I watched half of that episode.
yeah, yeah, exactly. They saw all of you people. Everyone was clicking off halfway through. And was like,
Yeah.
okay, never mind. We tried. That's ambitious to go with the insurance mascot. But it was good. It was the first one was the first one I remember. They were at the restaurant. And that he was trying to order something, and he ordered something with like the mango chutney. He ordered something sophisticated, and it was
Oh,
because
no.
he was so put off that he was kind of being judged just based on his caveman
Oh, my
status.
goodness.
And then he was, of course, he ordered something highbrow, but he was so put off by the waiter's treatment of him. So it's pretty funny.
The creative writers were not very creative on that one.
I don't know. Yeah. They got him started, and so all right. Well, there's our list. Okay, did they mess it up? Is this about right? What do you think?
I mean, I think it's pretty accurate. I mean, I wouldn't put the gecko as number one. I would have put Jacob State Farm actually as number one.
You put Jacob State Farm now. Okay,
I think
what
he's more
about
popular.
the original Jake? This is the second Jake. Do you know they
I know, but
changed the Jake on us?
This new Jake seems to be the one where everybody's,
No.
he's with all the football players.
Yeah.
So
Okay. No, this is Jake. This is Jake. There
Yeah.
was, but there. If you don't know that the very first Jake was a white guy, and he
Yeah,
was the one at
exactly.
home, and then the wife was like, "Who you talking to?" And it was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, State Farm or Jake at State Farm or whatever." It was like,
Yeah.
what are you wearing?" He's like, "Oh, khaki pants or something." It was pretty good. But then they changed Jake. He got younger. He got better looking. This Jake is like low key jacked. If you ever see him in their social stuff, he's like he's
I
a
mean,
big
he
guy.
makes it onto what's the TV show where they're like paparazzi.
Oh, TMZ.
He's been on TMZ.
Oh, he has. Okay, well, okay. Well, no shade to Jake. I just feel like the Geico Gecko. That's the one that people. If I asked my
I mean,
kids, they would probably say him first, but I don't know.
yeah,
So, all right. Well, that is top 10 with Angela Lamb. That's top 10 insurance mascots. Let us know in the chat if we got it right. And now we're going to turn the page to a little bit of serious business.
go for it.
All right. Okay. We are back. If you are just joining us, this is the Founders Club Live. We are a live show here on Facebook, on YouTube, and we are live every Tuesday at noon. We are right here. Now, we are also, this is kind of exciting for me. This is serious business for me, is we are now available on the podcast platforms. So we started off the show, we were just live streaming, and we were here on Facebook and on YouTube, but now we are now starting to publish back episodes. We're going to get caught up here, but we're publishing the first two episodes of the show are now available on your Spotify, on your Apple, and all the different places where you get podcasts. They're all video podcasts. So if you want to catch up on the show, we've talked to some awesome people, and those shows are starting to trickle out on the podcast app. So don't forget to subscribe and all of that good stuff. So Angela, so tell us what in your world, what do people need to do? Where do they need to find Angela Lamb?
Well, I obviously I'm on all the social media. It was here's a funny story for you. Okay, just real quick.
Yes, no.
So, my name is Angela Lamb, just like the animal, Lamb. I also have a farmer's insurance agency. Well, a few years ago, actually, it's probably 10 years ago, my one of the girls that answers my phone, I could hear her talking to somebody, and the conversation was odd to say the least. And it perked my interest. So I got up from my desk and I walked up to the front and I'm like, who the heck is she talking to? Well, this person had called in, and she's on the phone. And I could hear her saying, this is Angela. No, this is Angela Lamb Insurance, Farmers Insurance, and she's like, no, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, we don't sell that, no, ma'am. And so she's trying to
Oh
explain to this
no.
woman what we do. Well, apparently, this woman was a little foreign, but she was looking for sheep. She wanted to buy some sheep. So when she Googled sheep farmers, lamb farmers popped
Oh,
up.
because a farmer and lamb.
And so she's like, you only sell lamb? No sheep?
No,
Only lamb? No sheep?
only
And
like
so,
no lambs and no sheep, but it says
no lamb
lamb
and no
and it
sheep.
says
And
farmer.
yes,
So
yes.
wow, that's a
So
good.
that was a pretty funny one. So she had to explain to her that we sell insurance, no animals of any sorts, and definitely no lambs and definitely no sheeps.
I feel a little misled now. I feel like wait a
I
minute.
know, right? Yeah.
I came
So
here for the
every
farmers and
time that
the
I'll Google,
lambs.
yeah, if you
That
Google lamb farmers every now and then, I'm one of the ones that pops up.
you'll
So
be the one. Wow, wow. Okay, but that's not you. You're this one that we see on the screen
that's
now
me. That,
with all
yes.
of
And
these folks.
those are my girls. Those are all my girls that help me out here in the office. So that they're all amazing. So
Yeah, well, that takes us into our serious business segment. Talk to us about what it's like, running a team and managing that process. So some of us were just getting started out. We have smaller teams. We're solopreneurs. When did you know for you it was like time to start like adding in additional pieces, and what's that experience been like?
immediately. So
Immediate.
when I immediately. So when I first started, I think the best advice I ever gotten from tenured agents: hire as quickly as you possibly can, because there's a lot of things that either a I don't want to do, can't do, or don't have the time to do, and or find somebody that can do those jobs for you better, or at a for what I can do, I can have a staff member do as well, kind of thing. So the ability to have staff on board take was the only reason why I think I'm the size I am now, is because I've been able to focus on agency development as opposed to where there's a few agents. I mean, teach their own. Do you? But there are a few agents that they've basically stayed as a just a one man show for many years because they didn't want to take bite that bullet and pay somebody, because it is expensive, and it's, you're going to go through, you're going to get the ones that hey, they're drinking at noon, and then you got to fire them, or whatever it is. And
Oh boy.
yeah, I have had that one. And so anyway, so there, you'll have those hiccups, but at the end of the day, you'll get a team like mine where, and you'll know, the way I know when I have a good one is when I know that they got my best interest at heart and the agency and my client's best interest at heart. When they don't have that all, if they don't have us, that those three things, best interest in heart, they're not a good fit. And I know pretty much right away whether or not that they're a team player like that.
Yeah, I found that like when I started having to hire folks in the agency world, marketing agencies, it is kind of like when you first start, you
Yeah.
really are so invested in these people, like you feel like you picked the perfect one. And so like the first time someone doesn't work out, it is kind of a bummer. Like it does bum you out. It's like, oh man, you just put so much into it, and then you realize, oh, this isn't gonna work. And
Yeah.
so for me, and tell me if you feel differently. For me, I just do the longest leash because I'm kind of in denial that it's not going to work. And I'm like, no, I got to change my management style, or I got to help them
It's
more or
me,
whatever.
not
Like
them.
I
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
myself into, no, it was a good idea. I just got to make it work. And then eventually, you end up being right. Your first instinct, or I
Yeah.
guess it would be your second instinct after you
Yeah.
hire them, is that you were right to kind of move on. But do
Yeah.
you struggle with that? Are you quick to be like, no, that's not right?
So I've gotten better over the years where I kind of see it fairly quickly and I make those changes fast. Whereas before I'd be like, well, I'll give them another chance. I'll do a little bit more training, do this, that, and the other, invest this much more into them or whatever it is, or make up whatever excuse. And the more every year I'm like, I need to be slow to hire, fast to fire. So,
Ah,
and you can get that from anybody that's been an agent, or and especially in my industry for much longer than a year or 2 years. But I mean, it's so, staff is one of the most costly, obviously expenses to an agency, but it is the most income driven expense I have. So I need to make sure that So whoever I have in those spots, they need to be the best spot I have because I only have so many seats on the bus, and so those seats need to be filled and filled with the right people. So I just need to, when I do have that wrong fit, that maybe they just interviewed really well, or I was maybe wasn't feeling good, or I don't know what it is. But I've there's been a few times where I'm like, nope, that was
Yeah,
a
or you
bad
get them
call.
on a good referral from someone that you
Yep,
trust, and maybe their experience with them was good, but maybe it just wasn't the right mix. I like what you said there with the slow to hire, quick to fire, because I feel like
yep.
I'm the opposite. Like I've been the opposite in the past. Is like quick to get someone in, and then like slow to realize
Oh, that's
it
what
wasn't.
I know for like all these 20 years, but I've gotten better. I've gotten slightly better. I still need to do faster on the other end.
Okay,
I'm still I hire probably a little too fast, and I've aspired a little too slow, but I'm getting better. I slightly
okay,
teeny
so
tiny bit better.
okay, I like this. So as you've got better, what are the things that you recognize? Like you said, now you're faster to recognize that it's a no go. What are the things that you
Uh,
recognize?
is anybody in my office? They got to be able to sell. So if they can't
Mm.
have a conversation with people, and if they can't pick up the phone and have a phone call, and just and not be so emotionally distraught when somebody tells them no,
Oh yeah,
and you're going to have bad weeks, you're going to have bad months. So you're not, every day is not a day of like all these amazing sales and all this stuff. And so if they can't get emotionally past that, that's something I can't train. That's just confidence that they got to build somewhere else before they come to me, kind of thing.
yeah. It's a numbers game.
Yeah, it's almost like they need to go to a call center where they're raked across some coals for a year, and then they get a little more, they get stronger skin, a little bit that, and then they can come back and it might be a different story. But if they can't let that stuff go, this industry will beat you up.
Yeah, the rejection thing is tough though. If you're not
It's huge.
used to it, it's like it. To your point, you go out and get that thicker skin somewhere, and then come in here once you have that. You got to have that thick skin because especially on the phones, and you're just hearing a lot of rejection or a lot of people. Oh, let me think about it, or you think it's a deal, like oh yeah, they're doing it, and then they ghost you, and then it's like, well, I thought we were connected. I thought we were best friends, and all of a sudden they won't even take my call now, and it's like it
I worked
is
months
it.
on that. I worked so hard on it, and they ended up going somewhere else or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, we had it down to the 2 yard line.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's an emotional roller, especially when their pay is connected to it too.
Oh,
So
for
it's
sure.
like when they have bonuses and commission tied to it. They've got bills to pay too. So I mean, it's not, it's definitely not for the faint of heart. That's for sure. So
No, for
especially
sure.
in years like this, like 2023 and 2024, and I've had this meeting with my girls. I'm like, hold on, girls, because this is going to probably be the hardest year any of us have ever had. And uh, Colleen that's been in my office, she's 20 some years. I mean, she's working on 30 years at this point. All the other girls have been in my office for over 5 years. Me, I'm at 20. So I'm like, it's just in all these years that we've been doing this, I'm like, 2024 will be the one that actually will, will, we'll see who comes out on the
See
end.
who's still standing.
It's still standing. Exactly.
Wow. Okay.
So
So Stacy in the chat asked a question here. She said, "There's so many farmers agents out there. Is how do you set yourself apart?"
it's hard. I mean, it really is. I mean, each agency does their own thing. So everybody that kind of marches to their own drummer. We're not in any kind of a situation where we're dedicated areas that we have to be in, or we're mandated by the court by farmers or what we can and can't do. Within reason, we are, but obviously we can still manage our agencies any way we want. But for me, it's all about personal relationships. So some people are all about internet leads and buying leads and staying in their office and just hunkering down and doing that kind of stuff. They build their business just fine. That's not my cup of tea. So I'm just always about a relationship. So it's just building friendships and
Networking.
basically synergy type things where I like mortgage companies, realtors. That's where we have natural synergy where my business kind of overlaps with their business, and so vice versa, that kind of thing. So
Yeah. Do you find that you have, in your world you have like a longer sales cycle?
it depends. So like auto and home, that kind of stuff is normally pretty quick sales, just because that's that's a normal thing for people to shop for. So now I've pretty much moved. So obviously I've got staff, so they focus primarily on the homes and autos and things of that nature. But I focus on like the larger commercial insurance policies, which those are a very long process. Those could be years, if not mining that business, and large life insurance, and then obviously investments. So so that I focus on those things, and then they do mostly the other stuff. If I don't pop in on a few things here and there, but yeah.
I have a non-business question that just popped up.
Go for it.
Are you a runner?
I
I
you
saw,
see
yeah,
my
I just saw that back there. I'm like, wait a minute, I know what that is.
I've done a few. I was at half marathons until my knee
Oh,
decided it was not a good fit for me anymore.
okay,
So
half marathon's no joke.
I'm going to try it again. I'm hoping that I did one of those platelet replacement therapy things. So my knee has been feeling a little bit better. So in 2024, it is actually a goal of mine to do another half because I do like doing the rock and roll runs. I did one in Ireland. That's what screwed
What is a
my.
rock and roll run for us non-runner
So
people?
it's a company that puts on marathons and half marathons, but
Okay.
throughout the course there's bands. So there's a band at the very beginning, like Macklemore is in Las
Oh,
Vegas, and then in the Vegas one you run down the strip. And so as you're running at night down the strip, there's bands throughout the course playing, and so it's just a real fun. It's a really fun, really well put on series. But my husband and I went to Ireland and ran one in Dublin, and
yeah.
I didn't quite train for the elevation as much as I should have, and that's what kind of screwed up my knee. But
Okay.
oh
The rock
yeah,
and roll run series.
yep, they're
Okay.
awesome. Gotta try them out. They're really really fun.
That's a good one. Okay. Well, I'm not running. So I am.
That's the one.
I'm a running hater. Okay, like I hate running. I actually like walking. Walks are great. I love walking,
Yeah,
but running, I'm too heavy. And when I run,
yeah.
it's like I don't enjoy it at all, and I never really
They're
have. I've
addictive.
tried
I
to
can
make
start doing
myself.
them. They get kind of addicting.
I
Yeah.
did the. I was doing 2 miles a day, like just some random number I made up. 2 miles a day every day for like a while, and I was like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this. I'm gonna make myself into a runner, and yeah, it didn't stick. I'm like, once I stopped one day, I'm
13.1
like,
miles. Yeah, I don't know how if people that do these. I've got a cousin that does the ultra marathons, which are the 100 miles. He
oh
does
my
probably
gosh.
almost a year. I mean, that's crazy. I'm
I
like,
think
I don't know.
those people need to be studied. They got something wrong with them.
Something
That's not.
seriously wrong.
No, that's not. It's not okay. I mean,
Yeah,
they got a screw loose or something.
something,
So,
something.
all right, cool. Well, I've got one more question for you. I know you have a heart out today, so we want to be very respectful of the clock. But I would say this: if for the folks out there thinking about getting into this game or anything, tell us something. You've been doing this for a while. Tell us if you were starting over today, what would you do the same and what would you do different? Two-part
Oh,
question.
oh, that's hard. So the same I would do. I like the idea of not knowing what you don't know because you know what I mean.
Yep,
That is
one hundred
in a
percent.
way that helps you because it's like when I started in this industry, we were in a moratorium, which basically means insurance. We were going through another weird spot because when everybody's claiming mold, everybody's house had mold. All those huge claims were happening at that time 20 years ago. So at that time, I have these quotas to hit, and I could only write one home a month, just one. And that's where much of your commission comes from. So and then try to make a living on top of it, and trying to make all these numbers to where you make so you can stay on as an agent kind of thing. Looking back on it, I'm like, if somebody told me to do that right now, but no way, I couldn't do it. But back then, I didn't know what I didn't know, and I made it happen. So I just did it. I can't tell you how I did it. I just did it. But I say that the one thing I wish I would have, kind of what we were talking about earlier, the staffing part. I wish I would have figured that part out faster and
Hmm.
gotten a little bit more braver in my confidence of what you're doing, you taught them well, and if they still aren't getting it, time to move on. It's time to move on. And so when you really think about the money that is spent between lost payroll like that, or marketing that you've thrown money at that didn't work, or it's the zeros add up to many, 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 many zeros. And so I think that's my biggest thing. I wish I would have been a little bit more confident. And I don't know if maybe if I would have started later in life, maybe I would have had that. I mean, I was 26. I just finished. Just finished my MBA. I mean, I did have an MBA. I'd worked at a corporate office and got my ass taken over the coals there and learned that way in a call center. But maybe if I was a little bit older, it would have been a different story. I don't know. So
Yeah, there's some things
um,
you can't change just because your age. You just come at it from a certain angle.
yeah,
So, but
yeah.
it's good for other people. Maybe they are younger than us, and they're hearing us talking like, "Oh, I heard these old people on this podcast talk about not doing it that way." So, hopefully, they can
Well,
learn
and
something.
if nothing else, you're young enough that if you don't make it, you don't like it. You have more than enough time to bounce back and do something completely different.
Yep.
So why not try it? I mean, that's
Oh,
gonna help
oh,
you.
we have a question coming into the chat here as a real, like a nuts and bolts insurance question here. It says, is it better to deal with insurance on wind damage to your fence and roof or just come out of pocket?
It depends. So always have a contractor, so a roofer, contractor, whoever you use, friends, family. Get a referral. Do not use anybody that goes around knocking on doors. So either call your insurance agent, call anybody you know, say who you used, and get those people out there because they will know right off the hand if there's enough damage to file a claim on your property. If there's enough damage, and my rule of thumb is if you're not going to get back more than, especially on homeowners policies, because it's so weird right now, it's so weird. If you aren't going to get, I'd say anywhere between 2,000 or more back after you pay your deductible, then I would say come out of pocket because otherwise you've got that claim on your policy and it's going to stay on there for 3 to 5 years, depending on what company you're going to. And the companies are just so tight on underwriting right now, it's ridiculous. So if you're only going to profit or not profit, but make back a little bit, I would say it's not worth taking your claim and having it on the books. So
Oh, okay.
the best
Well,
case, the best case scenario is always talk to a contractor first and then your agent. Do not call the 1-800 the 1-800 number of any insurance company, farmers or anybody. Do not go there first. That is your worst phone call you could ever make.
oh,
Because the
okay. Hold on,
minute
hold on.
that,
Wait. Okay, that slid by
yeah,
me a little bit. This is a real
you
tech tip. Okay, this is inside. Now, tell us one more time. If I have an insurance claim, what do I do and what do I not do?
never ever call the 1-800 number first.
Okay.
Never. Call
Okay.
your insurance. Call your insurance agent or a contractor to make sure there's damage for it. Because if you call the 1-800 number with any of the insurance companies, it immediately goes as a claim. Whether or not there's enough damage for it, somebody comes out, and the adjuster comes out and says, well, you got some damage, but it's only $500 worth of damage. So it goes as a zero paid claim. So they came out, they looked at the damage, not enough to file a claim. It is still a claim, period.
Boo.
And those zero paid claims are a pain in my rear.
Wow.
they almost
Okay.
we almost hate them more because basically what that's saying is like you had enough damage to call a claim in, but there wasn't enough damage for the insurance company to give you the money to fix it. So now they're like, okay, now did you use your own money to fix the problem, or is the problem still there and going to become a bigger problem? So,
It
so
just got
it
on their
becomes
radar.
yeah, you literally just got on the radar. So then for us, we have, especially if somebody's trying to come to us from another company and they have a zero pay claim, we have to get all this documentation from them proving that they fixed whatever the problem was. So then there's not some lurking problem waiting for it to be a bigger problem at the end of the day for this
Okay.
new insurance company to inherit.
Wow, this has been educational. I had never heard the word zero pay claim before.
Yeah,
But wow, what an
yeah.
education. Okay, I'm so glad I hosted this episode and I learned something myself. So, okay,
So
wow.
those came in really. These are really playing a part for us for that February storm that happened a couple of years ago. The
Yeah,
winter
the
winter
winter.
apocalypse or whatever it was.
Yes, in Texas.
That happened. I mean, because of whether or not they had the coverage for it, they were just calling their insurance companies coming out, and they're like, well, they didn't have the coverage because it was, either it was pool equipment that broke or whatever it was, or they just didn't have the coverage for the pipe break, and so they all went in zero pay claims, and
We
so
just
it's
we
just
just had a fun night last night here in Texas with the wind.
oh yeah,
It
yeah. Oh,
went
we've gotten
nuts.
plenty of phone calls over that already.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was insane.
Yeah, it was gale force winds. I don't know what that is
Hence the reason
exactly.
why the insurance,
Yes,
yeah,
I don't know if
it's
you watch
close.
Bob. Do you ever you ever watch the show Bob's Burgers? Oh, are we losing Angela's connection here? So I will. So we watched my family. We watched the show Bob's Burgers, and the sister in law. Her name is Gail, and she's a loser. Like she's a cat lady, and she's like single. And anyways, and so her name is Gail, and she comes up with this board game called Gale Force Wins, and it's a board game that anytime she's losing, she just turns the fan on and blows all the pieces off. Gale Force wins, and then they have to replay the game. Anyways, Gale Force wins. Look it up. Bob's Burgers. All right, that's my recommendation. Look at Bob's Burgers. It's a great show for the whole family. All right, well, man, Angela, this has been educational. We really appreciate you coming on and sharing your insights as both insurance agent and insurance boss lady. And oh, you know what? One
Lady
more.
boss,
Lady
lady
Boss. Oh,
boss,
sorry,
Jeff.
sorry, Lady Boss. I'm saying that in the wrong order. Wow, how could I? The Founders Club.
They're the ones that gave me the title. I mean,
Oh shoot.
I'm like, all right.
Okay, I know we're up against the time, but on the way out, tell us real briefly, because we know each other from Blue Family Fund. Tell us about you working with them and what's the importance of giving back to the community in that way.
I love it. So I'm in the community a lot, and so I do support. Like I serve on the Girl Scouts board, and a few other things here and there. But with Blue Family Fund, what I love about them is that I love that I know that the money that I'm giving is going straight to a first responder that needs it. Whereas
Yep.
opposed to any of these other nonprofits, they've got, a CEO to pay for, a CFO to pay for, they've got their marketing and directors to pay for, their business developments to pay for, they've got all this stuff to pay for. And that's a lot of donations that just go just to pay for overhead. And so that's what I truly love about their organization. So, and of course, Stacy and Michael are awesome. So,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah,
trust, and when you get to know somebody like that, they're doing the right thing for the right reasons. And that's why I'm on board.
they are. They are. Okay, well, thanks a lot. And for folks that want to find you, where they go to find Angela Lamb Agency?
So my phone number is 817-361-9864. And then obviously my email, I think you put it up there earlier, but it's alam1
All
at
right, well,
farmersagent.com.
very good. We'll
And
put
then
that
if you
in
Google me,
Google.
you'll obviously find a lamb or sheep farmers. And I'm pretty sure you'll find me somewhere along that way.
Very good. All right, we'll put those links in the comments. So if you're watching this later or on the podcast, we'll put some links to find Angela. So if you need someone to take care of your insurance, Angela's got you. Angela, thanks so much for coming on the Founders Club. You're officially a club member, so congratulations on that. I know, right? Exactly. I need to have like confetti come down or something and be like, yeah, exactly.
You need to start having 50 Cent, like have the music
Oh,
in the
in the
club.
club. I don't know if I can clear that music, but if I can, we should for sure. So, all right, Angela, thanks a lot, and I really appreciate your time today.
Thanks.
All right, you bet. All right, so that was great, and like I say, I didn't know about that not calling the 1-800 number. So literally, it's worth the price of admission just watching the Founders Club today, just to learn. Do not call that 1-800 number. Talk to a contractor first, then talk to your local person that you signed up with second. Talk to Angela. Just talk to Angela Lamb. Look, the moral of the story is just talk to Angela Lamb. She's going to hook you up. So, all right. Well, thanks a lot so much, you guys, for being here in the Founders Club. We are live, and thanks for the comment section, keeping us going. We will be back next Tuesday at noon, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. And again, we are now on all the podcast platforms. Our first 2 episodes are up. We got more coming in. We're going to get caught up on that. So we're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on all the places that you find podcasts. You'll find the Founders Club. So subscribe. We really appreciate you guys. Every little bit right now matters. We are just getting started off, and we're going to be doing this thing every week. And so we really appreciate you guys coming in, being part of the family here, and just jumping into the club. So having said that, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to thank our podcast production company, Podvision.io, for the amazing production. So if you are looking to do a podcast or a show similar to this to help with your content creation needs, reach out to Podvision.io. They are awesome, and they come up with all these graphics and all this cool stuff that we do on the show. And so look for them. And with that, we are out, and we will see you guys next week right here, noon Tuesday on the Founders Club.